Welcome back to another stats video. This one working backwards. If we're given percentile, can we find the rank of a value in the distribution? Let's see how this one works. So now that we understand how to calculate the percentile of a score in a distribution, let's see if we can work backwards. If we're given the percentile, can we find out which score we're talking about within a distribution? Now, a couple of things before we start. Remember, in this one, we're going to be given the percentile of a value, and it's sort of like find the hidden number. Which one are they talking about in the distribution? First big thing we need to know here is if we get a decimal answer when we use this formula, we're going to round down, kind of ignore the decimal and just take the integer that's in front of it. Now this is the opposite of calculating percentile. If we were working forwards with the last formula, any decimal would get rounded up. In this case, because we're working backwards from percentile, we're going to do just the opposite. If we get a decimal in this formula, we're going to round it down or ignore the decimal, just take the integer of the answer and make sure we choose that score in our list. Next, what you have to understand is that the answer that we get is going to give us the rank of our score in the distribution. So if we get an answer of 7, let's say, that means we're the 7th value from the start of the distribution. We can't just say the answer is 7. We have to count off that 7th number in the list.
All right, so if we look at the example I had up earlier, there's a distribution of 11 values. And what the question's asking is which value places in the 68th percentile. So the formula said you had to do the percentile they gave you divided by 100 times the number of values. When I do that in my calculator, I get 7.48. Now there's the 7 that I was just talking about. The formula says if you get any decimal, round down. So the 7.48 just becomes 7. And what I'm looking for is the 7th value in the list. That means I got to count off the 7th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And there's my answer. The value in the 68th percentile is 15. And that is my answer.
So don't forget, once you get an answer from this formula, that's how many numbers you have to count off in your list until you've found the one you're looking for. You can't just write that as your answer. You're going to see exactly what I mean once I do it a couple of examples.